Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Cantripped for our third and final installment of 6 Feet Umber. My name is Connor, I use he, their pronouns, and I will be your host and keeper today for the final part of our mini-series. And here is my party.
Hello, I'm Art, my pronouns are they, them, and I play Casey, and his pronouns are he, him. My playbook is the monstrous.
Hello, I'm Beck. I use she, they pronouns. And I'm playing Rosie Deacon, who uses she, her pronouns. And my playbook is the mundane.
Howdy folks, it's the Beetle Bard. My pronouns are they, them. My character is Eugene, uses all pronouns, and their playbook is the spooky.
Hi, I'm Jamie. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing Sterling, whose pronouns are also they, them, and their playbook is the wronged.
Once again, to recap, we are still playing with the Monster of the Week system, which is a 2d6 based narrative storytelling system. This episode, like the others, contains a handful of content warnings, including injury, blood and gore, decay and reanimation or undeath, mild body horror and transformation, claustrophobia, uncanniness and the uncanny valley, bugs and insects, religious themes and religious horror, and death. Last time, on 6 Feet Umber, a lot transpired. Casey and Sterling were attacked by a wounded young woman by the name of Cassidy Wilder, who launched at them from a cave after being mauled by something that may have once been her girlfriend, Joanna. After calming her down and racing her back to town for medical attention, Sterling and Casey met up with Rosie and Eugene, who had been caught inside the Whitmire mansion as some kind of distorted human-like creature raced past the windows and began to crawl up the outside of the walls. Despite their attempts to comfort the panicking and unwell Graham Whitmire, they were interrupted by the appearance of Graham's lawyer and companion, Franklin Stallworth Esquire, a harsh older man who forced them from the house and tried to convince them that there was nothing out of the ordinary, alongside making some jabs at Eugene's family and the greed of the people of Umber Hollow. A group gathered together on the edge of town burst into the home of Dr. Darcy and his daughter Angela, who began frantically working to save the life of Cassidy. Meanwhile, Sheriff Lucia Barrow Cunningham appears, and after a concerned reunion with her partner, Casey, begins to question the others as to what has been going on, only for them to question her in return. Alongside the sheriff, Rosie's mother, Lillian Deacon, arrives to scold her daughter for disappearing, and to lay down some cryptic warnings about the town, the Whitmires, and the involvement of the Deacons in all of this, before leaving Rosie with the pentacle necklace she'd never seen before. Searching through the notebooks of the deceased Father Arthur Matthews, Sheriff points out the name of the creature they believe to be infesting their town, a vrykolakas, an old-world vampire, large and hulking, and hidden beneath the town in the old abandoned caves. This is a creature well known to Sterling for being the same type of monster which killed their partner, Birch. With knowledge of the monster and a need to get rid of it, the party leaves the doctor's office and heads to the church to collect holy water and to make sure that Reverend Harvey Montague is where he's supposed to be, in an attempt to eliminate one final suspect from their list.
Guys, I got an idea cooking in my brain.
Oh, spill.
I also have idea.
I've been working at a tavern, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have access to copious amounts of alcohol. If we grab some holy water, who wants to make some fun holy Molotov cocktails?
You're so
I
smart.
think that is a very fun idea. That's exactly why I was like, if you guys have fun ideas on how to light fire. Sterling has a little bitch on fire, 100%.
I think we're going to the church to check for, to A, check for the reverend, B, grab some holy water.
Yeah.
This is a fun fact about holy water that I just want to throw in here. Any quantity of holy water when added to a larger body of water will make that larger body of water holy water.
Oh, we are already
Okay,
steps ahead of
good.
you.
Good. I just wanted to point that out just in case. You arrive at the doors of the church, and there's a light on inside, candles just flickering. through the windows. Someone moving around in there.
Opening the door and walking directly inside.
Yeah, honestly, no point in sneaking around.
Sterling has at no point taken off their brass knuckles. Can I say, flavor-wise, that their brass knuckles are silver, though? Not. Yes.
Ooh.
Is that...
Ooh. If Sterling's a hunter, I feel like that makes
I
sense.
was gonna say.
Specifically because of Sterling's backstory and the fact that Sterling knows about
Yeah.
vrykolakas and knows what killed Birch. Yes. I think so.
Yay!
And I think as you burst through the door, covered in blood, pretty much all of you, to some extent, with maybe the exception of Rosie, Reverend Montague wheels around from where he is, kneeling in front of the altar covered in candles. I'm sorry, this is quite the inappropriate time. Sheriff, I do not know what exactly your plan is here. I know that we don't exactly see eye to eye on my involvement with the Gaza family, but this is ridiculous.
Reverend, I've never been so glad to see your stupid face.
I honestly think he is just like very taken aback by all of you. Like he is just like, he is standing there, he is...
The only time anyone's ever been happy to see this man.
While he's flabbergasted, I'm searching for holy water.
yeah.
I'm actively going through his shit if I got to. Like I'm doing what I need.
Wonderful.
I think it's that kind of situation where there's almost like a basin up there of holy water.
He'll point it out. Probably to Rosie, because I'm assuming you maybe brought the bottles they're putting this in. Did we plot that far ahead? Did you grab a cup from the... Where are we putting this in?
I feel like we could have grabbed bottles, yeah.
What exactly is the meaning of all this? And Lucia goes, Reverend, I could not give less of a shit about your will to insert yourself into the Gaza family at this exact moment. Now I need you to shut the up and just let us do our job.
She's so pretty when she works.
Art.
He says that. That's canon.
Sterling splashes water at him.
At the
Do you
priest-
actually?
No,
This is
at Casey.
Do you actually?
That's
Oh.
worse. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
that's worse.
Sterling
No,
doesn't know.
No, you don't know though. Would
He
you?
Sterling
doesn't
does it
know.
as a joke, but Sterling doesn't know better.
Oh,
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I
I'll let you flavor text that, Connor. I'll let you flavor text that.
I need you to roll something.
No, I mean he doesn't know what's happening. He's literally looking at his wife. I don't have any way to dodge
the
this.
fact that we're about
Yeah,
to
no, I-
accidentally
Hits.
reveal to the Reverend.
It hits. I,
The Reverend's gonna think there's a fucking demon in the...
the Reverend is glaring daggers already at Casey and Lucia, and he starts to say something when Sterling splashes this water, and Casey, this burns like nothing you have felt in a very long time, and I think you reel. I think that Lucia is so startled that her hand comes out of yours and you stumble back to the church pews. And I think that as Casey is stumbling, your sunglasses come off. And you hit the ground.
Oh,
God.
damn!
Oh shit.
Okay, can I roll to not have that happen? Hold on.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you roll for that.
And I like kick a pew over and like try to get the attention of because Uriel had an idea because like their grandma and they're like, that's your business and you seem to be cool, so like whatever. And like watching that happen, they're like, pew.
Please. I love that. That's so funny. Could maybe they roll to like try and be really distracting when that happens, specifically the Reverend?
Can I help out? When
Could help
another
out?
Oh,
hunter?
yeah, help
Which
out.
Tuck's
one
hair
would
behind
you guys
ear?
prefer? Would you prefer that you roll, let's say, an act under pressure? that
I
you've
think
rolled?
I think I like the energy of what Beatles got going on. I would
All
love
right,
if
so
they rolled
Beetle,
this.
you're rolling. What exactly are
Okay.
you rolling? What move is this? Are you saying
So-
this?
Help out when you help another hunter, roll plus cool. On a 10 plus, your help grants them 1 plus on their roll. And then on a
Okay.
7 to 9, your help grants them 1 plus, but I expose myself to trouble or danger. On a 12 plus,
You just get in trouble with the Reverend.
no, actually, I just sprawl out, and he's like, In the house of the Lord? Really? In the house of the Lord?
See, I need one of these to come to pass.
I'm regretting my actions.
Beetle, if you would like to roll to help out, and then
Okay.
I can also roll.
Plus, what's cool?
It is. Mine's is +1, so that is a 9.
I also rolled a 9.
Mir.
Plus 1 with my roll bumps you up to a 10.
Yo! So I'm fine. You do get bullied.
I expose myself to trouble or danger.
Oh my god.
But Sterling sees what
I was gonna
happened.
say, you think that Sterling sees?
I feel like Rosie probably also sees.
Yeah, I feel like everyone in the party can see it. It's mostly this bitch.
We just gotta keep this asshole Reverend off our back.
Okay, so this is happening. So I think for everyone else, Casey is thrown back and the glasses skitter across the floor. And for just a moment, Art, would you like to describe what Casey's eyes look like?
Oh yeah. His eyes. I think I had them be that the whites of his eyes are black, and the part that would be just like a normal eye is red, like a bright, intense red. And he normally keeps his sunglasses on at all times. He's got like hair and the hat. He's got a lot of things that obscure the fronts of his face. I think even for extra flavor, just because of what we've been doing and how much he's had to restrain himself, there's almost like red, little tiny veins coming from them, from the strain of keeping under control under all of these conditions, keeping his cool and keeping human-y. So I think there's like the red eyes, furrowed brow, probably smoke coming from wherever the water, just even the one little droplet is probably smoking a little bit, like you just put out a cigarette. And the red veins as he like recoils and like hisses.
Can I really fast clarify, how long has he been in town again?
Nope, like a year.
Okay. So it's long enough where it's like...
We're homies.
Yeah.
We're probably homies.
Like, I'm gonna be freaked, but I'm also not going to immediately be like, Damon! And kill you.
That one's a Damon. Get the
Cool.
gun.
To be fair, your childhood friend rained moths down from the
Yeah.
heavens.
I've seen a lot tonight.
I think Rosie specifically had a bit of a roughie.
The rest of you, like, kind of had an idea of what this shit could be. I went in cold turkey.
I think Sterling will catch Casey's eye and is just kind of staring really intently at them.
She doesn't say anything, but I think you watch the color drain from Rosie's face.
Sterling runs a hand over their silver brass knuckles.
I think he holds that eye contact. Like if this is coming across like a threat, he's holding that.
I don't know if it's intentionally a threat. I think it's just processing in a really threatening way.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit threatening back just by the nature of
Fair.
Damon.
Yeah.
And then the pew falls over.
I think they'll even say, God damn it, in the house of the Lord, just to like...
In the house of the Lord.
It might not seem like a big deal to literally anyone else, but they're like, this. I have to make the biggest distraction I could think of. God damn it. So Eugene is going to like stumble over a pew and like knock it over and then sprawl out on the floor and be like, oh, God damn it.
Do you know how heavy a fucking pew is? This
Yeah.
is an insane distraction.
Literally.
There's a moment where this happens before Casey's hands shoot up to cover his eyes, and I think in that same moment, Lucia is lunging for your glasses as they skitter across the floor of the church to get them back for you. And before the Reverend can see anything, Eugene just crashes through a pew, somehow sending it toppling, the rosary clattering across the floor far more loudly and obnoxiously than the glasses ever could. And at the same time, on the altar behind the Reverend, the candles burst into this column of flames, completely washing forwards in this wave of heat and light as Eugene stumbles and rolls across the floor of the church. And the Reverend is almost pushed forward by the force of this wave coming from the candles and from the altar, that he spins like half around to stare. What in the name of God is happening?
Did you feel that, Reverend?
Mark 9, verse 29, and he said to them, this kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer, and I drive all of you out from my church in this moment.
And Reverend, why aren't you praying?
Jesus Christ!
Oh my god!
Hardest line.
Shit, Beetle, damn.
Oh my god!
Sorry, I'm gonna head out. All of us can go home.
I was gonna say, I think, because also one of the things of like the spooky is like the more I use my powers, it's kind of like they gain like an edge on me.
Mm-hmm. It's slowly overtaking you.
Yeah, and so I think that like Uriel is gonna stand up and start quoting Romans 1:18. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all godless and wickedness of people who suppress the truth by their wickedness. Reverend, you care more about my father and his business with you than you care about people coming in and praying? You tried to turn us away the moment we stepped in here. For those who are self-seeking and who reject the truth and follow evil, there will be wrath and anger, Reverend. And it is a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
As you stare down at this man, something deep within his eyes breaks. There is a total and overwhelming cataclysm within his soul which ruptures his faith and his very existence as he stumbles back, his feet slipping on the rosary which you yourself have cast upon the floor of the church, as he staggers backwards and crashes into the altar, knocking candles and flames around, just staring you down with a look of utmost terror in the face of what he sees as eternal damnation incarnate.
Oh. Oh.
You do not deserve to take his place here. So leave.
I don't think he can even bring himself to formulate a response. I think that the candles licking at his robes, catching
Oh, shit.
on his priestly attire, Reverend Harvey Montague runs from the church. And he does not look back.
I wish you could see my fucking face right now. Oh my
What is
God.
happening?
This is okay. As someone who was raised by the church, this is the most satisfying thing I've ever witnessed in a D&D game in my life.
Holy shit.
That might be one of the most satisfying scenes we have ever, the craziest and most satisfying scenes we've ever done in all of Cantripped.
Beetle, you're nuts!
What just happened? I feel like I started a domino train that I did not intend to.
I think Rosie slow turns to Uriel and is like, okay. That was amazing. Yeah, that's all I got. And then Jen goes back and starts like trying to fill up holy water, I guess.
He's just like, you know what?
That's all I got. I've had a nat. Wait, actually, turns to Casey. Are you gonna try and eat us or kill us?
Those are the only two options.
I think he just makes like direct eye contact with her in like the most. I think it probably hurts that that's the question, and maybe you could see it, but he's not gonna say it. He like takes the glasses from Lucia. Neither. And puts them back on.
Okay.
Not all things that aren't human are bad.
I've been your friend for a year.
Yeah, I know.
I've been this for longer. No. I'm not gonna hurt anybody. Shit.
All right, that's what I wanted to believe. I just seen a lot of shit tonight, Casey, and I just had to double check.
I don't think he responds to that.
Okay.
As Lucia helps Casey up to his feet, turns around to see as the flames from the candles that are now toppled over start to lick at the wood of Sanctuary.
Oh!
Oh, not us burning the church!
She looks at you all. Y'all need to get out of here right now and take care of whatever this thing is.
Yeah, you fucking think?
I'll deal with this. I can.
Leave it.
What?
The fire. Leave it.
Guess it gives the town one less reason to turn up on Sunday with no reverend waiting. Now go on, all of you. And I think as you guys are moving out of the church, she grabs Casey's hand again, pulls him in close, and kisses him. And when you break apart, she says, "You had better come back to me, deputy."
Will you say yes? If I do?
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
You can propose to me with a sterling silver ring, darling, if you get back here. And I will say yes in any church but this one.
And kisses her hand. That's a promise.
There's a promise, Casey Carwell.
And he tips his hat. Sheriff. And then walk out.
I think that, like, without literally looking at anything, Uriel's just gonna leave the church, like, behind.
Ooh.
Like, pick up the rosary, but that's it.
I think Rosie's gonna fill one more bottle really fast and then go, like, don't need to tell her twice to leave church. That's cool with her.
God, Sterling's with Rosie on that one. Maybe swishes their coat and fans the flame a little. Not intentionally, but not unintentionally on the way out.
As you leave the church, and you stride, perhaps even picking up your horses on the way to get there as quickly as you can away from the church, and you near the Whitmire mansion on the edge of town, nestled between the bluffs of the desert and framed by the rising sun. The church, in opposition to the light of the Lord which rises in the sky, burns with an even brighter heavenly fire. And you come upon the dark silhouette of the Whitmire mansion. Facing you from the front door are silver knockers inlaid with the wood, the eyes of demon-like gargoyles staring you down as you approach final resting place of whatever lies beneath.
Rosie is sitting on the back of Eugene's horse, concocting as we're on our way.
I mean, you only need one drop of holy water and the whole thing comes holy, right?
So true.
I don't know if that counts with liquor. I don't know if you can make holy liquor. You know, at this point, sure. You are at the doors of the mansion.
Is it locked?
Nope.
We're going in, and we're going directly downstairs.
What's the guy's name again? The lawyer? What's his name?
Franklin something.
Franklin Stallworth.
He wants to get in our way. He's getting a gun pointed directly in his face.
The four of you charge through the house, and it doesn't take you long to find the basement. The entire house is so old that it almost seems to be seeping into the ground on itself, sinking in the center of the house where the stairs lead down, and gravity is pulling it deeper into the basement. And there, sure enough, just as Graham had rambled in his dazed state, is a huge cavernous wall which opens into the subterranean darkness, right in the wall of the basement. Perhaps once there had been some kind of door, the remnants of a frame in the wooden supports, but not anymore. Now it is a giant open maw of jagged stone and rotted wooden teeth, waiting for you to venture deeper, and deep within you can hear the scratching and rumbling and bellowing of something trying to get out.
I think in a move that feels very familiar, even though it hasn't happened for years now, I think Rosie instinctively grabs hold of Uriel's hand. Just,
I think that they tighten their hand, trying not to tighten so hard it hurts, but like not being able to really loosen it all that much.
Sterling cocks their shotgun.
The ground beneath your feet slopes and slides downwards, uneven and rough, but inlaid with the tracks of decades of walking. Single file. Down, deeper into the earth. As you pass by, there are the remnants of candles and lanterns cast aside between the support beams that are roughly pushed up against the cave walls, which are so rich in silver. Even living in a mining town, none of you have ever seen this much concentrated mineral in your lives. There is enough here to make 1 million people rich. All of it compacted and condensed into the stone, weaving like roots into the earth, like veins which pulse in the light as you walk deeper in. Slowly it opens up to a wall of brick and stone, carved on it the remnants of sigils and runes and pentacles, like the one on Rosie's new necklace. And behind it, where the stone has crumbled and collapsed and been blown away, opens a subterranean chamber, the likes of which you have never seen, the walls woven with silver, as inside the 3 thralls circle the walls, clambering over stalactites, as Franklin Stallworth Esquire kneels on one knee before a massive, hulking figure, more bat than man, now hairless, with jaws that hang loosely from shredded tendons in its cheeks, revealing a mass of jagged teeth which erupt from its gums. Blind white eyes scan the empty room as these pointed and jagged ears twitch and writhe, and huge leathery wings struggle against the silver change which burn it with every movement. And this thing, the vrykolakas, roars.
Are we trying to go about this in a sneaky way? Or guns a-blazing?
I feel like no matter how we start, it'll end guns blazing.
Our weapons
was
are in
gonna
fact
say,
mostly
Yeah, mostly firearms. Mine specifically has a messy, loud reload. I don't know how sneaky Sterling can be.
We could go in guns blazing in the way where we all make eye contact, nod, and shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is far loud reload, and I also have literal bombs just in my hands. So
I think Uriel sees this and is disgusted by this, especially knowing that this was the cause of Father Matthew's death, and he was such a kind person, and he was a light in Uriel's life when Uriel did not have a lot of lights. And I think they just yell out, "Stars!"
He freezes and his shoulders tense. And slowly Stallworth stands up. And he just continues to stand for a moment too long.
oh,
The way that his bones shift as he lifts up. And in his one palm you see a knife, and the other is held as if cupping water to his lips. A blood that is far more black than red. And he turns to stare up at you. I told you there would be consequences to your trespassing. And he lifts that hand to his lips and smothers it across his face. The blackness of the ichor drenching and smothering his lips. And around him, those creatures on the walls, these mockeries of the humans they once were, seem to coalesce and launch towards you. And as they do, voices cry out, far too many for just the three that are there. And you hear this mingling, echoing of so many different things. There's Lucia's voice echoing, please, we need to come inside. There's that child's voice calling again and again, I'm cold, please, I'm cold. There's another voice that Rosie recognizes in the back of her mind saying, oh, come on, Cassidy, we're just gonna go a little further. Just wait there for me, doll, come on. There's the voice of a young man saying, oh, well, I just thought I'd bring these roses in, sir. Just, they liven the place up a little bit. And so many voices and forms as these things launch towards you from the stones.
I'm shooting.
Yeah.
I would like you to roll the kick some ass for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say less.
I am gonna be using so much power of heart. I'm so glad I have it.
This is entirely what I'm built for, is shooting these things in the face. Okay? Are you ready for this?
Absolutely.
Kick some asses plus tough. And I rolled 15.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You rolled a 15 on a 2 to 12 scale?
I rolled an 11. I have +2 to tough. I have +1 when I'm fighting the breed of monster that I'm specifically hunting, and I have another +1 for using my tools matter skill where I'm using my shotgun, so I get an extra +1.
Oh my god.
Didn't even roll a 12.
I think the one that was mimicking the voice of what you assumed to be Joanna, and as it comes closer, scattered across the walls, you can see that it was once a young woman. It launches, and the echoing voice that almost drips from its distended and broken jaw says, come on, love. We're gonna get out there. We're gonna spend forever. And before it can even finish, the shotgun blast goes off, and it hits it square in the neck and sends it almost mid-jump flying backwards as its momentum is reversed, and it topples from the ledge that you are all on down into the depths of this cave where it is impaled on the stalagmites beneath. And it writhes for a second, and it screams an ungodly scream, and then it withers, and its bones fall apart as the flesh sloughs away and rots instantly.
I have never in my life seen a one-hit KO in a Monster of the Week game, but a 15 deserves it. For sure.
For 15, I don't know. I didn't know what else to give you
For
on
a
that
15,
one.
I think God is just gonna smite down your enemy for you.
Oh, but Sterling deserves that shit. Listen.
I think Sterling deserved that one.
Thank you, Connor.
For letting me be mean to you about Birch before.
Can I do a little hex after the gun?
If you would like.
Okay, so let me roll. No, that's not good for anyone. Okay.
And tell me what you got, because I can't help.
Okay, so I rolled a 6 +2. I do have a +1 because gain +1 ongoing while acting on the answers, and it's like, where's the creature right now? Is it being controlled? What is it planning to do? And because we knew what it was planning to do, we were like coming in.
Okay, so you're at a 9?
Yes.
Okay, I have an ability called the Power of Heart, where when fighting a monster, if you help someone, don't roll plus cool, you automatically help as though you'd rolled a 10, which gives you +1.
So that's a
puts you
10.
straight to a 10. Yep.
What's Eugene doing?
I think Eugene is going to like look down at these creatures and like they have just like things in their pockets, and one of the things in their pockets is a small doll that is very similar to the doll that they gave their sister Magdalena, and they're going to smear, like they're going to squeeze out as much blood from their hand as they can as they paint over the face, and they're going to drop it down, and it's just going to like impact one of them, and then breaking from the porcelain mold is just a swarm of black witch moths coming out to almost devour and like go down the throat of this thing and like roil and toil and do its thing.
Yeah, that's what it does. These moths encircle it and they burrow into it almost, and you can see as it begins to writhe and hang and scuttle, and it drops from the wall down to the floor where it still is thrashing and moving forwards, but it is in pain. It is screeching and howling and snapping at you all as it fights its way forward, despite the fact that these moths, which are weaving their way inside of its body, are pulling it back away.
I don't know what I'd roll to throw. I guess it would just be kick some ass.
I think it
So,
should
like,
kick some ass, yeah.
Could I set one of my handmade Molotov cocktails at the one that's stuck?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Now, my tough is only +1, so we'll see how this goes. Also, for flavor text, I'd like to say that help earlier was Rosie taking Uriel's hand was what helped.
Oh,
cute! Because I think that's fun. 8. On a 7+, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. The amount of harm is based on the established dangers in the game. That usually means you inflict the harm rating of your weapon. What's a harm rating of a bomb?
In my mind,
It's not like a specific
bomb,
thing. It's vibes. Just
yeah, it's
pick how
vibes.
you feel. Pick how you
Okay.
feel.
All right.
It's fire,
cool.
so it hurts the vampire. The same as that, like,
Yeah, it's fire, so it hurts real bad.
like the shot that basically like took out its neck is what killed it. Like, it's not the fact that it was shot; it's the fact that the shot basically blew its neck off is kind of what killed it. In Sterling's case, like that's kind of the vibe. I would say, in my mind, something like a bomb would probably be 3 to 4 harm. So Rosie throws this bomb, and it does connect, and it hits, and the fire engulfs this thing, and the screaming gets so much worse, rising and rising in pitch to the point where your ears begin to ring as this thing, still now encased in flames, launches forward. And I think that as you've thrown it, slipping on the uneven stone, have tumbled forward more or less directly into its outstretching claws as it grabs you, and you can feel as the nails and beyond the nails, the bones of the finger which have pressed out through the flesh, warped and distended, dig into your shoulder and sort of grab you and try to drag you over the edge of this cave into the pit below, and just don't quite make it, but drag you down onto the ground as this thing writhes. And you can see, as it's on top of you, the moths that are crawling in and through it and out of it combusting as they emerge from the flesh, erupting into phoenix-like flame and flickering out into ash as they drag its flesh with it.
Okay, how many harm points is that? Like 1 or 2?
Let's say 2. 2 harm points.
Yeah, that feels fair. Also, could I call that a what could go wrong and hold 2?
I'll say yes, just because we're in the end game right now.
Yay!
You see, while this is happening to the others, third and final of these figures launches itself forwards and goes to almost tackle you and grab at you, its jaw opening up, and like a python just continues to open, the top of the head snapping backwards on the neck joint to reveal just the shredded insides of its mouth as it lunges towards you.
Gross. I'll do let it come to me. I think he as this creature comes to him, holsters his gun and is gonna go in for an attack close range with his hands and mouth and whatever nonsense, depending on if it goes well and I kick some ass. Okay.
Go for it.
Cool. And I have fun thing of having unholy strength. So when I roll tough, I don't have any tough. I roll weird instead, and I get to use that.
Yay.
And I roll my weird is +3. Not tough at all.
Let's go, weirdos.
Weirdos. First roll's a 6, but stare at my dice. Second roll's a 4. Okay, that's a 10. Plus 3, that's 13.
Yeehaw!
To kick some ass.
Yeah.
And I think because my natural attacks, which are fun things I got to pick, I have a gun, but he also has teeth and claws. And I think for flavor text, he can get more monstrous per the situation. Like maybe his fangs aren't quite as extended on a normal day-to-day basis as is when needing to feed or when needing to fight. So I feel like he can have those funky, long, weird claws under gloves and like long teeth because it is kind of wild. My teeth do 3 harm intimate, and my claws do 2 harm
Intimate.
hand. Yeah, it means that'd be like my mouth to someone's body. Yeah, it's pretty intimate. And then my claws are 2 harm. That's 5 harm for me to beat the shit out of something with my mouth and claws.
Jesus.
So,
For Monster of the Week, if people don't know the system, 5 harm is insane.
5 harm.
Yeah.
That is insane.
it's crazy. So I think he's kicking ass in the most kick-ass way possible and really done with this. And I'm technically on a 10+ for kick some ass, which is so fun. You can gain the advantage, give 1 forward to yourself or someone else. You inflict terrible harm, you suffer less harm, or you force him where you want him. I think he's gonna do terrible harm, so an extra +1 harm. If this thing hits him back, that's one thing, but I think he's going in for kill type beat. These things, they're wrong, and he is, all hats are off. Time to be a monster.
Goes feral for just a moment, and I think as this thing crashes into you and sends you both back against a wall in this now flurry of fangs and claws from both parties as your jaws sink into its flesh, almost in a mockery of the way that it killed so many people before, right into the meat of the neck and shoulder, and you rip outwards and almost throw it across the room with your fangs, your claws raking across it as it flies out. And this thrall crashes into the wall, a bleeding mess, just twitching as it struggles to claw itself back up and back towards you.
He picks up his hat, probably came back off and all of that, and puts it back on. And I'll let someone else go, but as it's crawling back, imagine, then he pulls out the gun as a second thing for, like, flavor of what he's doing next.
I think flavor for what we're doing next, Sterling is prepared stanced up in front of everybody. Because I do have a specific protect someone move, so Sterling is prepared to protect anyone who is going to get hit.
Am I still being dragged? Does it still
You
have
are
me?
still on the ground with this thing above you. Is what I was going to say next, is how are you addressing that? I think that this thing is sort of almost rolling, trying to pin Rosie onto the ground as it's almost ignoring the flames which are eating it from the inside out, thanks to the moths.
I am just a mundane.
Can I jinx it? Can I jinx it? Interfere with what a monster minion or bystander is trying to do? Can I make it not pin her down?
Sure, roll for me. Plus weird.
I love the mundane, but it's in moments like these where I'm like, God, why am I mundane?
Okay. Plus weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I help out?
Sure.
Maybe by, like, I don't know, like trying to physically attack the monster as well, and we can
Yeah.
Double team.
work together. Yeah.
Can this be like a move that we use when we were like, because like we knew each other before?
We've worked together before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Describe for me.
Oh,
Oh, I love the concept of you yelling some like random word phrase and you two immediately are in sync.
yeah. I feel like that it could be like Yuji like yells something to get the monster's attention, and the second that its attention snaps, Sterling goes at it from like the side, and just tackles it.
So then, do you roll to give me a plus?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie rolls.
Then it grants you a bonus if I roll high enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
If they get a +10, their help grants you 1+. On a 7 to 9, their help grants you 1+, but they will be in immediate danger.
Okay.
Okay. That's a 9.
Ooh.
So that does bring me up to a 12.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to maybe like, this is gonna sound silly, but it's what I would want to do, or what Euro would want to do. Like use. I'm trying to think of other bugs. What other bug? Like a tarantula, I think what happens is that like a horde of tarantulas come out around a stalactite, and then like one by one just like kind of detonate, and one of the stalactites fall like in between the creature and Rosie.
It says on a 7 to 9, it grants them help, but you also expose yourself to danger. And I feel like that's completely okay with Sterling, because if Sterling gets the attention on them instead of Rosie, that is also their goal in this action.
I think that Sterling crashes into this thing and knocks it away as the stalactite falls and almost separates Sterling and the creature from Rosie. And in doing so, this creature's target is immediately shifted, and it manages to hook those finger bones into the leather of Sterling's coat, and it grabs, and that momentum of the two of you rolling away takes you closer to the edge of the pit, and you manage to grab onto one of these stalagmites just as you're about to fall, with this thing holding onto you and trying to drag you over into this abyss.
Shit. Okay, it's holding on to Sterling?
It's holding on to Sterling, and Sterling is holding on to the ground.
Well,
If I were to shoot it,
Mhm.
would that be a problem for...
if you roll badly.
Depends how well you shoot it.
That's true. That's true, because all I'm thinking is, like, I shoot it and it goes down, but it pulls Sterling down with it, and that's what I'm afraid of. Other than we've killed one, then there's the one that Casey is most definitely going to fuck up. And then there's this one, right? There's no other...
Nope, there's the 3.
And then there's Franklin.
The actual
Okay,
thing.
and the big thing is in chains.
Can I bite that big guy? Is anybody gonna stop me if I bite the big guy?
No, go for it, King.
Cool. I'm gonna
Nibble snack.
All right, yeah. Then I'm gonna roll to try and shoot the one that has Sterling to try and protect Sterling.
Okay.
Go for it.
Dude, I'm doing my best.
Roll well.
I'm a mundane. All I have is a shotgun and some bombs. I'm trying real hard out here. Oh, thank God, it's an 11. Okay.
Let's go.
All right. I get to choose one extra effect. You gain the advantage, take one forward or give one forward to another hunter. You inflict terrible harm, you suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them. Do I use force them where you want them to, like, say they go in the pit? Like,
They go in pit.
I think that would be an appropriate use of that move.
yeah. These things can't fly, right? There's no, flight.
They can't
okay.
fly.
God.
If they fall, they're
imagine.
fucked. Okay. Then yeah, I'll do, like, for some reason my brain was going bat wings. Yeah, even though that hasn't been established at all.
The large creature has wings, but these guys don't.
But these guys don't. Okay, they're little baby guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, then my other one is give +1 forward to Sterling. So I want to, Jamie, would you rather force them into the pit or give you +1 forward?
Assuming that I will need to roll to pull myself out of the pit, that might be useful. But I don't. Would I, Connor?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, then perhaps that might help.
Okay, yeah, then in that case, I'm going to shoot it and give +1 forward to Sterling.
Mhm.
Okay.
That also makes sense flavor-wise, because it's like I'm giving you an advantage to shake free.
You shoot this creature, and it is a spectacular scene as the moths and the flames which had embedded itself in this chest are fully released as the shotgun blast hits it square in the chest, and an explosion of these flaming insects illuminates the cave in almost a firework of flickering and fluttering death, and this creature falls down into the pit.
Woo!
And we'll move back to Casey as this thing crawls closer towards you.
I don't think there's any finesse. I think he's just shooting it because he's like big guy.
I don't even know if I need you to roll to shoot it.
I guess how rough is he looking? Does this guy look like it'll be a problem?
It's not going to be a problem for much longer.
Can I give it a really good kick with my boots, but I got spurs on?
If you really want to. Sure.
Nah, I'll go for the big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a shot at the big guy.
Mm-hmm. You turn to take a shot at this thing, and as you look down, you can see where Franklin is hacking at these massive silver chains with this knife, jamming the knife
Oh, he's
into
trying
the
to like break
locks to
them
try
open.
and snap them.
Okay.
Stop him.
Mhm. Can I bodily yoink this guy? Could I, with my unholy strength, instead of shooting, I think I could in fact yoink him like by the back of the neck, like collar of shirt, try to drag away from that. That'd be my thing I do.
You would have to get down there first, but you could definitely.
I'll do a
Yeah.
hop.
Sure. How you hopping down?
How did he get down there? Beat parkour?
Oh my god, he parkoured. He chose the beef.
So looking around, you can see that there are structures in the walls, these rough wooden supports and platforms that do kind of move down, that are starting to rot away, but are very much still serviceable.
He parkoured.
You can see on one of the walls, the way down is intact, but there's a point where it is molded and rotted away from a leak in the wall that is dripping water steadily into this cave.
He parkoured. I will also parkour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jump. I'm eating. I'll jump what I gotta jump. I'll skitter if I need to skitter. Let me get down to there.
Getting down to there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll say act under pressure.
That is an 8.
An 8.
Mm.
I think that you scamper down, but as you're going down, your gun slips from your hand. You are leaping, and as you need to grab
fuck.
at the wall, you grab it and your hand finds purchase, but the gun scrapes against the metal and is yanked from your grip, and you do make it down to this stone imitation of the sanctuary and the altar back in the church, upon which this thing is changed, and which Franklin Stallworth, in his twisted form, his eyes rolling back slightly to reveal just whites and darkness not dissimilar to yours, is desperately hacking at these chains.
I grab him. I try to grab him. Strong arm if I must.
I don't think you roll. I don't think that in that moment he's expecting to be grabbed. I don't think he's fighting back to that in particular. I think you grab him and you yank him away, and he screams and he howls and he lashes out with his arms, and he catches you across the shoulder, ripping through your clothes with claws that almost aren't quite formed. They catch on your shirt and they're rough and jagged, and I don't think they pierce skin, but they scratch just enough to hurt and for that pain to anchor you back in this place.
Drags. That is the mode of transportation. Dragging. I try to drag him away. That I'm just getting him to stop what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. This thing in the chains is thrashing and is screaming, and as the longer it goes on, the more the noise shifts from animalistic rage to something akin to words. Old words which none of you know, but which echo through this chamber, curses and vile, ancient things which surround you and engulf you as it thrashes desperately to bite at someone it can't reach.
Can I pull myself out of the pit? What do I
Yeah.
What do I do? What do I roll to do that?
An act under pressure if you
Okay.
could. You do have that one paid forward boost as well.
I got a 10 plus
Okay.
1, 11.
Yeah. Successfully crawling out of the pit, bleeding and ragged as you lift yourself up and roll back onto the flat stone.
And I cast Hex on the big creature.
You can.
Alright. Oh, yep. I knew it was gonna come back and bite me in the ass. Okay. Use magic, so that's plus weird. That's a 6. Unfortunately.
I have power of heart. I could do something. I don't know what I would do though, because I'm like way away from you, aren't I?
Yeah.
You're separated by the stalactite.
Uriel would also say, "You will beg for the mountains and the rocks to fall on you and hide you from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the ram. It is your great day of reckoning, and you will not be able to withstand it." I think they're going a little too deep. Especially if that's like a mixed success, mixed failure, they're going a little too deep.
Mm-hmm. I think this thing locks eyes with you, and for a moment the bellowing stops, and you are overwhelmed with decades, if not centuries, millennia of unbridled force and hatred and drive towards death and destruction as it sweeps over you, and you can feel that same feeling you felt as a child in the mines, as that anger inside you bubbles up through your throat in the words you are speaking and clouds your vision in the corners. And everyone around you sees as beneath your clothes your skin begins to smoke, and the heat radiates out from you. Through the words, there are licks of fire which spew from your tongue as you step closer and closer to that edge, and the thing's gaze is resting so intensely upon you, and the flames consume, in this moment, only yourself.
Do I get to harm them at least?
You failed.
You failed, dude.
Dang, that's rough.
Is this something we can protect someone, help with?
Yeah, I was going to say, could I climb back up there somehow?
You're on the same level, that there's just sort of a rock in between you.
Okay, then yes, absolutely. If there's only rock in between.
I can choose to protect someone without rolling. So I have a move, which I'd like you guys to know that the move is called Never Again. Just that feels important.
Mhm.
So I can like basically automatically protect someone without rolling. However, I have to take full harm. Yeah.
Okay.
Would this apply, Connor?
It would apply, absolutely.
Okay.
If you were to find a way to reach out to Eugene.
Yeah, I think. What if they work together?
Sure, they could.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could.
We
do-
each take one of their hands.
Aww.
Yeah, I feel like because I was thinking if you were going to do the thing where you get a perfect protect someone without needing to roll, I think it would be interesting if for the flavor Rosie gets there first, but because he's literally on fire, she can't really do much, and she's just kind of freaking out a little bit, trying to figure out how to snap him out of it, and what she's trying very hard, but there's nothing I think she could really do. I think she tries to like maybe get in the way so he's not looking anymore. You know what I mean? Like break the eye
Yeah.
contact, and then maybe that gives you room to step in and do something that's a little more magic.
I feel like Sterling just goes, "Don't lose yourself. I know what it's like to lose yourself in this. Stay with us. There's people who need you here."
I think Uriel kind of like blinks a couple of times and like grits their teeth, and there's like a familiarity to like the feeling that they're feeling right now, and it is hard to differentiate the feeling of poisoned power and the feeling of righteous power, and they've never really been able to differentiate those feelings. But like seeing their friend and seeing someone that they've loved for a long time tell them like this is not right, like they trust you more than they trust what they might be feeling, and that's something that they are very used to doing because they don't always know what is right and what is good, and they've had to put their trust in a lot of people, but you two have never stirred them wrong when they've done that.
I think in this moment, as Eugene is anchored, and that rage and anger and the righteous flame of the Lord that burns inside them is released, and it flows out and around you through the cave, encasing the space in a ring of fire. And as it expels outwards, it hits Sterling and knocks Sterling backwards as it burns, and it melts the leather clinging to the clothes on their back. And from in the base of the cavern, Casey watches as the flames erupt and they latch onto this creature in chains, and it begins to scream again, writhing and thrashing as the flames catch and its flesh starts to burn. And Franklin screams, and Sterling screams.
We've won, but at what cost?
At no cost, I'm saving Sterling. Help.
Sterling is totally okay with going for this.
Ugh.
That's fine. Eugene's not.
Dude, they've been putting themselves through it for years to get revenge for somebody, and that person is not here anymore. And if Eugene believes in heaven, Sterling's not sure they do, but they know that their person ain't here anymore.
Casey, what are you doing with Franklin as this takes place? He flails and he turns and he tries to thrash at you. Perhaps he even grabs onto you. And he says, "And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned. And their blood shall be poured out as dust." And he just begins rambling, and the words are incoherent as he almost seems to wither as the thing behind him burns, as the blood that is in his veins starts to burn as well.
So there's nothing really Casey needs to do. This guy's fading out.
It's up to you.
Like visually, like as is he
Visually, I think you can tell, and if the vrykolakas works in any way like the vampires you know for a long time in this forming stage, if the originator is to die, the thralls won't last long.
then I think he just kind of grabs the arms of this man and kind of drags them both down so that they're both on the ground, and uses all the strength that he has that is slipping from this person to hold him steady. And he just listens.
Damn.
Jesus.
I think that the final words of Franklin Stallworth are not religious, and they are not cruel, and they are not even sad. They're just desperate and hollow. Things that you've heard a million times before, echoed again and again. The promise of longer lives, of doing things over, of wanting more, of feeling that control. There's nothing special about this. There really is. Humans want the same thing across the world, across life and death. They want to be recognized and to be loved and to have a purpose and to make the most of the time they have. And when they don't have those things, they will seek it out in any way they can. They will latch on to whatever being or promise or faith will grant them just that little bit longer. Whatever holy blood they must consume, and whatever flesh they must devour to just linger in that idea of life for a little bit longer.
When he sees the light leave him, he stops struggling, lowers him down. Casey is not a pious man, but he draws the symbol head to chest across the shoulders. May God have mercy on your soul. And he closes the eyes.
Art, I just got chills.
Art,
Holy
that's-
shit.
Goosebumps.
Jesus. Connor gave me the goosebumps and you made them. You just went, okay, we're good.
Casey will have taken off his hat to do that, puts it back on, and then will do what he needs to do to get back out of this weird little hole.
I think Uriel is scrambling for Sterling. How are they looking?
Not good. This is the full brunt of holy fire. This is all that Eugene has held within him, amassed and sent forward and thrown upon one of their closest friends.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
I think it burns, Sterling, in a pain that you have not felt, perhaps ever. And it is in a way relieving, this idea that you did kill it. The vrykolakas is gone. Not the one that took Birch from you, the one that ended your life, but one that will never do that to anyone else again. No one else has to live like you. No one else has to suffer like Cassidy Wilder. No more towns will go without preachers, without friends, family, or lovers. Umber Hollow is safe. Uriel, safe. Whether or not there is a heaven waiting for you on the other side, Birch isn't here. But they could be there. All human beings want that chance to live just a little bit longer. But Sterling doesn't need that. Not anymore. Would you like Sterling to have a few final words?
Yes. I think if Uriel is at Sterling's side, Sterling is going to like reach for their hand again and make eye contact with them.
I'm sorry.
It's don't. I'm sorry.
Got it.
Uriel, I haven't lived in so many years. I haven't lived in a long time. I think I lived tonight for the first time since I lost her. And it's time for me to live. Just not here.
She'll be waiting for you.
And I feel like Sterling smiles genuinely for this is possibly the first time you've ever seen them smile, not in a sarcastic way, but like a genuine, you see all their teeth, the smile, satisfied. And then they close their eyes.
As the clock ticks over and the sun slowly rises above the town of Umber Hollow, Sterling Ayres, a person who has fought for many, many years, passes away in the arms of a friend, in the warmth of the fire, and peace of knowing that they did it. That Birch is waiting on the other side. And perhaps those who stand there watching them as they gently pass on will never know if Sterling found her. But that's not their place to know. It's their place to keep living. Their place to continue on in a world of monsters, but in a world of life and love, endless possibility, day by day, as above as it is below. In Revelation 20, verse 13, the Bible says, And then the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. That is the second death.
You?
Oh my god. Picture me beating you up, okay? Picture that. Connor.
In our final few minutes, are there any epilogue scenes that you guys would like?
I don't fucking know how we're supposed to follow that shit.
You don't have to. We can end there if you'd like. With the promise of a better tomorrow.
Casey goes home.
Casey's getting hitched immediately.
I think it's not the same day. It's probably like later on, after like maybe something else is being built in the place where the church was. Probably like something nicer, like a community building or an age or something that's useful for the people in a better memory. And it's like once things have settled enough, he'll get dressed in the best that he has, and he'll get down on one knee and he'll take off his hat and he'll take off his glasses, and he will propose to her with everything he has, and he knows she'll say yes, but he doesn't skimp out on that because he knows that because she's his world and she deserves whatever fraction he can give her, even in this damned reality that he lives. So he proposes.
And I think she says yes. And she in turn gives Casey all that she has in this world of hers that has been turned upside down.
Oh my god.
Marriage. I like to think terribly sad, but considering he's a vampire, I don't know like how aging works for the specific breed that he is. I do think I'm torn between like the reality that he outlives her and moves on and learns to love again and continues to live in honor of her, or if he lives with her through life and dies with her to try and keep humanity of himself and not continue on and on and on over cycle. He like tries to live like a human life even though he doesn't age, where he goes for as long as she does and he goes with her, to not perpetuate the monster aspect of himself. I hold them both in my hand. My wife.
Rosie and Uriel.
I think that after all of this, Uriel kind of has a revelation that just because people are in authoritative positions, it doesn't mean that they're always good. It doesn't mean that they always want what's best. Especially for Uriel. So I think they cut ties with their parents and they tell their siblings the whole and full truth about Magdalena, about how she's not dead, and about how they helped her get out of her marriage. Because they did not feel like they could tell their siblings without the fear of what his dad would do. But at this point, she doesn't really care. And I also think that she sticks in town for once. As long as no one's running them out. And as long as Rosie would have them.
I think if anyone even tried to run Uriel out of town, they would very quickly find themselves at the end of Rosie's shotgun. I don't think it's an immediate they're back together and like things like that, because if you couldn't get it from context clues throughout this entire campaign, they were childhood best friends turned lovers, and then Uriel ran off and she felt very abandoned and was very angry about it. So I don't think, even though like they've explained like I wrote letters and things like that, and obviously she knows what she was doing, I still think it's not an immediate turnaround. I think they are friends for a while, but I think eventually they have this familiarity that I don't think Rosie has with anyone else, and especially now that she knows what is out there, and she knows that there are things that, you know, aren't exactly human and aren't exactly animal and could very much kill her. I think having them near makes Rosie feel a little safer. I do like to think she ends up with a bit of a sleeping problem, I think, after this, because even though they won and everything, it was still earth-shattering in a way that I think she gets a lot of nightmares, and I like to think that when they're back together, I think he helps with those nightmares a lot.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I think that's actually, I think that would be where the line gets crossed from we are friends to we are back together, is I think maybe he finds her post-nightmare and she asks him to come back with her, I think, so that she won't be alone.
I think in that moment they definitely be like, I want you to think on that. Especially because you're in a very like you're in a very vulnerable state. I want you to like have a clear head when you ask me. I would, my answer will 100% be yes.
I'm gonna cry.
Also, hey Connor, what's up with my family? What's up with my mom?
I was going to say that as for the end of Casey Cardwell's immortal life and how he spends it, or the fate of Rosie and Eugene together and healing and moving on, fate of the Gazes and the Deacon, and the secrets linger and wait in the small western town. For now, they can continue to rest, buried 6 feet Umber, as we close up our Halloween special. And thank you all for listening.
Fuck you, but that's also
That was
so
so
good.
sick.
Connor, I think you changed my brain chemistry. I don't know what I literally don't think I'll be the same person.
Connor, this is probably one of the greatest one-shots I've ever played.
No, this
This
I'm
might
so
be
glad that you guys have enjoyed it.
This might be the
We
greatest
fucking
episode
cooked.
of Cantripped that ever exists.
yeah.
You are a top-tier DM.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
Perhaps
Oh my
we should wrap up
God.
this episode. We've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for listening to our adventure. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave us a comment, either on YouTube or on Spotify, or even in our Cantrip Discord or Tumblr tag, where you can find some of us lingering as well.
Tell us a really cool quote from the show.
Tell us
Yeah,
a
pick
quote
your
Give us
that
your
you
favorite
enjoyed.
Bible verse in the comments.
No,
No,
not
don't do
that.
that.
No,
God,
I'm
no.
kidding, I'm
don't
kidding,
do
I'm
that
kidding.
one.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do
please
that.
just
Don't do
What
that.
No, there were so many banger one-liners this one. I want people to pick their favorite one-liner.
Please.
But in all honesty, I do hope that you enjoyed, and that you enjoyed our little spooky romp into Monster of the Week. Maybe we'll return to this system or even this world at some point.
Ooh.
But if you're anything like us, remember to just breathe and take a drink of water and check in with someone if you need to. I know it's been a really heavy, thematic one-shot. But I do hope that regardless you all enjoyed, and you had a very spooky Halloween getting to follow our characters here.
One more thing. Can we canonically say we gave Sterling a gravestone?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Please?
Oh.
Thank you. I know that's kind of one of those things that you can assume, but I don't want it
But it
assumed. I want it
need-
known.
I want it known. They've been wandering for so many years. They haven't had a home in so many years, and now they do.
Oh.
My God.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next time on Cantripped. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.